having a beer. Anyway.
So good they would detain it at the border.
Of course they would. Oh, but they separate the cap from the bottle. Bottle, I'll be back, Cap.
I see a $1 million Pixar pitch right there.
The bottle and the cap?
Yeah, yep. The Mexican beer that its cap falls off and has to get it back.
Isn't that just an American Tale? But with a bottle instead of mice?
Yep.
Yeah. Somewhere out there.
So was Ghostbusters.
That is in no way true. Ghostbusters is in no way an American Tale. Well, I mean,
it also preceded American Tale by 2 years.
Exactly. I guess. They were nothing alike. I would never in my life have put those two movies together.
They were somewhat similar.
In what way? Please explain.
One of the main characters wore a hat.
Oh, and Slimer was in both.
Yeah, there was a green ghost.
People don't know that. If you go back and look at American Tale, I think about 20 minutes in?
Just about.
Yeah. You can see.
It's at the
You can see at the processing center. You could see there's Slimer. Well, his real name was Slimerinsky.
Right.
But they changed it.
Right when he got to Ellis Island.
They changed it. On that topic, hey everybody, welcome to the Backroom Show, Emergency Edition. I'm Gary Williams.
I'm Matthew Ferranda.
That's right, Matthew Ferranda, psychic to the stars.
That's true.
What am I thinking about right now?
Hats.
That's so good. You're good. So it is June 21st, and all the rage is the... Cocks. So many cocks. So many cocks. We're going to talk about the immigration crisis at the southern border. Isn't that exciting, Matt?
I'm so stoked.
Yeah, because I am, like a lot of people, I enjoy the social media and also hate it. You know, there definitely is a love-hate thing with it. And I'm seeing so much, to be kind, misinformation and bullshittery. Is that a word?
No.
Well, it is now.
It is now.
Yeah, a lot of bullshittery about what's going on with the immigration crisis and, of course, all the kids being detained. And who was it? Steve Ducey from Fox News said, no. These children aren't being caged. The walls are just made out of chain link fence. Now, Matt, what might you call that? What might one call that? Bullshittery. Also, a cage.
Yeah.
A cage. So, there you go. Matt's having a beer.
A Mexican beer, no less.
Mexican beer. So, the irony is thick. Like my penis.
No.
You weren't saying that last night, fella. When I was balls deep in... That wasn't you. Wait a minute. Are you a Honduran immigrant? I could be. For 50 pesos, I could be.
For 50 pesos, I come from wherever you want, papi. All right, speaking of
racism, let's get into it. Your thoughts, man?
No, look, where I get really bent out of shape, because I don't do social media. I don't post. I rarely look at it.
Yeah.
Mostly because of this stuff.
I have anger issues that I need it. I have to fight and I have to get mad about stuff. I admit it. I have a problem.
But the whataboutism specific of this situation is absolutely infuriating. And especially when people, particularly of conservative bent, want to turn it around to be about abortion or say, liberals, why are you so mad about this when you're not mad about that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, a bad situation that is on another scale or place does not affect this.
Right.
We can stop this one right now.
Yeah.
Like, it can be stopped. And just because you're upset about this doesn't mean you can't do something about that. Yeah. And the fact that President Obama did it shouldn't be the thing where you say, well, no, President Obama did it, so we shouldn't have to care about it.
You know, your ex-husband hit you. Why can't I?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it okay.
I don't understand how, because Obama did it and liberals weren't mad about it then, we can't be mad about it now.
Exactly. I saw someone post that exact type of meme you're talking about. Hey, liberals, how come all of a sudden you care about children being separated from their mothers? And then, of course, they show...
an aborted fetus or
well,
something?
or they show the... what do they call it when they get the exam?
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound. An ultrasound of a fetus. It's like you didn't care then. And my point is kind of like what you said. Doesn't that work the other way? If you care so much about this precious life, well, then what about that problem of the children being ripped away and families and all that? It works both ways. And like you said, this whataboutism is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you hated it then, you cannot. How fucking dare you excuse it now? You fucking flaming hypocrite.
Right, especially if you were mad about it then, and now the other side's mad about it. So like, oh, nope, I'm not going to be mad about it now because Team B is angry about it.
Right, it's your turn to be mad about it.
Right.
All right, so let me get into some specific things I'm seeing people comment and post about.
So many pages of notes.
So many, no, not a couple.
God, I can literally see 7 pages.
I write
of
very
notes.
big. It's 1 letter per page.
It's printed.
Some of it is. I printed some of it out.
I'm so excited.
I'm sorry. One of us likes to come. I have notes. You have a beer.
That's all I need.
And once again, we want to thank the good folks at
Alcohol.
All right, never mind. Yeah, they're not a sponsor. Fuck them. Fuck them. All right. Anyway, so I want to talk about a couple of the specific, because every time a topic comes up, like somebody said, you lock your doors at night, don't you? Or you lock your car. And it's like, well, that's exercising individual property rights. I'm doing that to protect my personal property. A country's not a car or a house. The federal government doesn't own the land. If they do, where does it end? What do you own? If they own everything, then you own nothing, and it just doesn't make sense.
But they do. I mean,
but they don't
ultimately,
really.
like
they
with
claim
eminent domain.
But they don't know it. How can an ever-changing federal government have any claim to private property? Of course they can't. That makes sense.
But they do.
They control it. Yes, okay. I can come over to your house with a gun and go, "It's my house now." And
You could. I mean, with a strong enough show of force, you certainly could.
It doesn't make it right, but it doesn't make it justifiable or even acknowledgeable. It's just threat of force. You own that shirt, which by the way is an awesome shirt.
Thank you. It's a picture of Gary's asshole.
My asshole's beautiful, by the way.
It's amazing.
I have amazing.
It's spectacular.
I do have a pretty nice asshole, if I do say so myself.
He got caught up looking at his own asshole.
Why are you getting me off topic?
Sorry.
You're terrible. You're stroking your beard like you're a villain. But anyway, so let me get back to that. The people want to talk about, with relation to people coming over, quote, illegally, about, don't you know, this is what you expect. What do you think's going to happen when you break the law? And what does that mean? Because I think you can make an argument that a crime needs a victim, right? I mean, yeah, prostitution's illegal. Of course it is. But why? You can give someone money. You can consent to sex. If you combine the two, it's a crime. Who's the aggrieved? Who's the victim there?
Well, I think that comes down to the people like pimps
Right.
who sell people into slavery.
Yeah, but that's they're doing. I'm talking about just the girl in the street saying, "Hey, you want to go party?" Here's the thing: most of the rest of things don't get to the pimp level.
I don't know. My prostitute knowledge.
Let me tell you something. The 15 times that I've been busted with a prostitute, there's never been a pimp involved.
Last year.
Because something is a law, it's never made it just. Slavery, of course, clearly was a law. It wasn't just. Voting rights, prohibition, segregation, mixed marriage. These were, all law. Did it make it right? I think people have an inherent natural right to migration. They just do.
You mean they're not allowed to walk across imaginary lines on the ground?
Exactly. Now, and here's what I contest to you, conservatives. If you're so for the rule of law, were you so accepting when Obamacare became a law? Because last time I checked, that was approved by the Supreme Court as constitutional because it was a tax. And of course, Congress has the power to tax, which made it a law. Did they go, yep, what are you going to do? It's a law. No, of course they didn't. That goddamn Kenyan Without law, you don't have country. You heard that one a lot?
I don't know.
And I'm not saying there aren't no laws.
I think that's the same argument for if you don't believe in God, how are you going to be a moral person? Well, I just won't hurt people.
Yeah.
I don't need the magical man and the Jesus machine to tell me not to do it.
Bingo. It's the same thing like, right, people say, hey, if you don't like what's going on in this country, you can just leave and go find somewhere you think is better. So smash cut to thousands of Central and Southern Americans who are like, I don't like it here. I think I'm going to go somewhere that's better. And then these same original people are like, you can't come here. We can't let you in here. Get the hell out of here. It's like, well, which is it?
I think I agree with you in that people just should be allowed to go where they want to go. I mean, I don't think there's any reason not to be allowed to do that. And as people's heads explode when they hear other people say this, well, what about jobs? And they do the welfare and they do this and blah, blah, blah. Like,
which is all horseshit.
Of course it is. It's total horseshit. It's lies you make up to tell yourself about why you hate brown people. That's it. You dumb motherfuckers. These are the same people who will start a sentence with, I'm not racist, but...
Yo, the black guy at work said...
You know the next sentence coming out of their mouth is going to be the most racist thing you're going to hear in your day.
You're right. They could replace it with, hey, something really racist coming. Brace yourself.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so my family, well, everyone ultimately is a family of immigrants who is living in this country who is not part of a native population.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of Cherokee and Navajo names floating around Facebook in my comment section.
Really upset about, the fact that Mexicans are coming here.
Yeah. And borders are historically ever changing. The Mexican-American War was 1846 to 1848. And then after that, of course, we annexed a whole bunch of land. It started with annexing of Texas, and they didn't like it. And then, boom, it resulted with them signing the Treaty of Hidalgo or something. I don't know.
Guadalupe Hidalgo.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. And so, thank you. Now we have, California, Colorado. So all these things. So the border changed. So up until before that, those people over there. Now the line shifted west, and they go, welcome.
Yeah. Yep.
But then also, what are all these freaking Mexican descent people doing here? It's like, wait. So if I move the line 2 feet, okay, we're cool. But those people, and that what the line changed again? Okay, you're cool
great.
Now.
Those guys are great.
You're great. But you over there, I'm watching out for you. So that's a dumb argument.
The line moved again.
Oh.
Damn, those guys are awesome.
That line is fast. Oh, there it goes again. Oops. So that doesn't make any damn sense because where we live in Pennsylvania. I'm closer to someone in Toronto than someone in, Los Angeles, California. What is my allegiance?
And that's it. I mean, you're closer to someone in London than you are to someone in LA. And so
I'm going to guess that's true.
Yeah, we'll say you're closer to someone in Spain, for example.
Yeah. Or like I said, even Canada.
Right.
Whatever.
And we are a massive country.
Yeah. And yet a small world. That was so deep.
Oh my God.
That was so deep, Gary. Hold on, give yourself a high five for that one. There you go.
Right on.
But yeah, so why do I have, because they tell me, oh, no, that's your brother in arms and countryman. But that fucking guy over on the other side of that fucking, no. You can be cool with him, but, they'll never leave the friend zone. Mm-hmm. And it just seems silly to me.
I agree. I totally. But it's a funny thing to me because I think about this frequently. That the idea of a nationalistic pride to me is strange. It doesn't. I don't feel that sort of thing, and it's not that I hate this country or that I want to leave this country. Nothing like that. It's just I don't feel I need to wave a flag.
It's the opposite. I think we love people.
Yeah, and that's it.
We're people. Hold on, strike that. We're people. We're
people. But where I find I do have sort of a national identity is the heritage of my immigrant forebears, from Poland and from Italy. Right. And so I think of myself much more as an Italian American than an Italian American. And it's a funny thing because I'm not. I have nothing about me. I mean, I've been there, speak the language.
I know what you mean, right.
But there's nothing about me that is actually Italian. But I still somehow latch onto that thing that gives me that sense of community.
And that's cool, I guess, but it's also a geographical and biological accident.
Of course it is. That's exactly what it is.
Ooh, I'm proud to be Italian. I'm proud to be okay, I guess.
What I think it comes down to is this, because I'm not necessarily proud of the island that my ancestors came from, but more so the culture of the people I grew up with.
Right.
And I think about that a lot. It's not the Italianness of it that you're attracted to. It's those good memories of those people that you were with.
And some of the customs.
And the customs,
nice.
Exactly.
I
Because
love
they're
customs.
the ways you keep the memory of those people alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have that connection to the American state because I don't know what is the American equivalent of the Feast of the Seven Fishes or something like that. I don't know.
Thanksgiving?
Thanks. Well, yeah, there you go. And that's a great one, actually.
Sure.
That's one where, but I don't think of that as about America.
Right.
I don't. That doesn't enter my brain at all. It's about the people you sit around that table with, and who gives a shit about waving a flag. That shit drives me nuts.
It's kind of creepy to mandate a pledge of allegiance to a flag. If you really think about it. Okay, here, I'll make it easy for you. Some of you, hardcore people. Take out flag and add, I don't know, Coca-Cola. Oh, that's weird. Well, okay, exactly. It's a thing. A bottle of Coke. You wouldn't pledge allegiance to it. And any kind of compulsory pledge of allegiance is
Right.
pointless.
It's literally the opposite
anything.
of what the flag is supposed to stand for in the first place.
Hey, you son of a bitch! You better, you better be loyal to this freedom you're being granted,
Right, exactly.
or you don't have freedom. And then, wait, what? My head exploded. What?
You're not allowed to think for yourself.
Yeah,
That's
now-
what it comes down to.
Yeah. All right, so let me get to another one of these points. Let me go through this here. Oh, shut up. Okay. Oh, this is my favorite. All right. Well, okay. First of all, let's talk about very quickly the myth of the ever leaching, dirty immigrant. And these are readily available. You can go to things like Cato Institute. These are nonpartisan think tanks, and you'll find study after study that shows a positive net gain on the economy from any kind of immigration, be it legal or illegal, because of things like paying into Social Security or taxes, but not taking it back. They put in much more.
They're all on welfare.
They're all on welfare. Which, by the way, thank you for bringing that up. There was a 1996 law. I think it's something about I forget. We'll post it or something, which specifically bans illegals from getting any kind of Social Security or welfare. It's a law. You can't get it. It can't happen.
The news tells me it always is happening.
But Sean Hannity said, exactly. I'm not kidding. You joke, but you don't joke,
no.
right? People have this. I think they believe that if Julio puts one pinky on American soil, boom, where's my check?
Right. He can
Where's my
kick his
check
feet
at?
up. He's going to be sitting drinking margaritas in the backyard of his palatial malice. And,
just waiting for the mailman to come to deliver his sweet ass welfare check. That's just a myth. I'm not okay. So I've had this argument with people, and they go, "Yeah, they do," and it's always they, because I've seen it. They get a fake Social Security number and blah 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 blah. Now think about the logic in that. It doesn't change the fact that there's a law. You may have known of an instance of someone defrauding.
And they don't.
Exactly. Of course not. But let's say somebody I talked to said, I worked at a bank and something didn't match something, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that's an individual.
Yeah.
There's a person who was committing fraud. That doesn't mean they all do it. If an Italian, person robs my house, okay.
Right.
Look at the Italians. But seriously, though.
That's fair.
It's not even wrong. Of course you would go, well, it's dumb to say all. Right. But they do. If your name is freaking has too many Z's in it or whatever, and a tilde in it, you're by default a government-sucking leech who's lazy, who's also taking jobs.
Well, I have to say, yeah.
Square that one up.
The single most, I think about this one a lot, the single most racist thing I ever saw on Facebook Came from a lady who's super nice, but just doesn't understand how racist she really is. And she had posted a meme that was a picture of two black ladies with afros standing on an American flag, looking at the camera kind of with an angry look.
Yeah, I think I saw
and
that.
it literally said, "Take away their welfare, like if you agree."
Yes.
And that's all it was. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
Someone's angry about America, so clearly they're black and they're on welfare. Yeah. That'll teach those N-words.
Bingo. That is exactly it. Like, people lose their minds when you don't understand their default position. Meaning, well, of course these ladies collect welfare. And then from that point on, they give you that like, yeah, okay. With, like you said, with zero proof, no stats, no evidence, just because, I don't know, somebody at the bar said it.
Yeah, that's it.
Or their dad said it, or they want to believe it.
And that's, of course, that's it. Like when you're raised to believe that Mexicans or Hispanics in general...
The other.
Right, the other, exactly. Whatever it is, whether they're Arabic or they're black or they're Mexicans, whatever the thing that labels them as other, you are going to just believe that that's not true. Or it is true, I'm sorry. That if you get on a plane with an Arab dude, you better watch yourself. Yeah. Or like you see a black dude walking up the street, you're probably going to cross the road. This is a cognitive thing that you will just be predisposed to believe, you know?
I saw some stats about, we touched on this earlier, about the net benefit. You know, a lot of paying in, but not taking out because of not being eligible for things like SS and all that. More immigrants are self-employed than native-born Americans. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 40% of Fortune 500 companies have been founded by immigrants. So that is a lot of jobs and taxes being paid. I believe it was what? Trump likes to tout his numbers. I think 2 weeks ago. The wonderful economy that he and he alone has created. And he cited this statistic about there are more jobs than there are currently participants in the workforce, meaning more jobs than people to fill them. Okay? That sure as hell doesn't sound like anybody draining jobs away. Sorry. That's math, I think. Anybody got any math? I like math. Do you like math? So clearly that's not a drain on the workforce. It's just not. So that's a crock of shit. So there you go. All right. This is an actual back and forth. Okay, so back and forth. This person is very, very anti-immigrant of any kind. He's Mr. Send them back where they're from.
But let me ask you a question before you start. Does he like identify as like Irish or Italian or whatever?
Well, funny you say that because it's coming.
Ooh, all over your face.
All over your back.
Wow.
Yes, your hairy Neapolitan back.
Not Neapolitan.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I'm not. That's a different place. My family's not from there.
Where are they from?
Sicily?
No. They're from Exeter.
Well,
Mount Penn.
Well, my grandparents are from Sicily.
Yeah?
You know, my father was born in Reading. I was born in Reading. My son was born in Portland. Let me tell you.
Can you do a favor? Can you tell us the place of origin for every single person you've ever met in your entire life?
I'm very glad you asked that. Let me get my book.
Starting, my mother,
She was born in Frankville, Pennsylvania.
Smash cut. My 5th grade teacher, Mrs.
Acquaintance was her name.
Born in
Sin. Yeah.
The Bayou?
That's right.
All right. No, so all right. So these are just excerpts, whatever you want to call it. So the course of the conversation, I say, hey, is blank, that's blank being their name, is blank an old Indian name? Asking for a friend. You know, I get a little snarky sometimes. So this person responds, German from the 1700s. You know, Ellis Island. Yeah. Matt just lowered his head. Yes, he already knows where this is going. All right. So I respond, Ellis Island wasn't processing immigrants in the 1700s. Fake news. Because he's a big, Fox guy. Oh, it gets better, my friends. He responds, again, this is fact about when they started. 1700s. So they respond, oh, so you were there when my relatives came through Ellis Island? I didn't know that.
He was aware that nobody was there when I was wandering around in the wilderness.
Let me continue this, and I'll get to some responses. Oh, God, it made me laugh. My mom's side was Irish. You know, the ones that were discriminated against. Everybody loves saying that one. But they didn't whine and cry. They came to this country and, well, they said assimilated, but I think they mean assimilated. They made a better life for themselves. They didn't ask for it. They go on, oh, and their German families changed their name so they could sound more American. Hold on. I don't see that happening with the scumbags coming across.
He sounds very compassionate.
Right.
Yeah.
This is real life comments from a real life person. So I respond. So I said, you said your German immigrant ancestors came here in the 1700s, your words, and came through Ellis Island. I tell you that there was no immigrant processing at Ellis Island in the 1700s. Then you sarcastically reply, oh, so you were there? Let that sit there for a moment. You think about it. You got it? Good. I didn't have to be there to know for sure that your 1700s arriving relatives didn't go through Ellis Island because they didn't begin processing immigrants there until 1892. 1700s, 1892. I can confidently say, without being there, that Thomas Jefferson never went to Applebee's because it didn't exist yet. I didn't have to be there. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Also, depending on when they came, there wasn't even a United States yet. You bring up Irish discrimination and the German name changing so they could, quote, sound more American. No, you mean to sound more Anglo. Isn't that the very fucking point? People shouldn't have to change to avoid discrimination. Are you demanding a mandatory name change? They're, quote, scumbags because they won't change Hernandez to Henderson? I said, I hate to throw this word around, but that's fucking racist because everything's racist nowadays. But according to this person, the Germans and the Irish, etc., these are salt of the earth people just trying to build a better life. But every single person from South America and Central America fleeing gang violence, corrupt government, and poverty is just a dirty, lazy, scheming welfare cheat, which are picking American jobs or too lazy. Which one is it this week? And that was pretty much it. There you go.
Did he write back? Any closure on that anecdote?
What happened since then? You know what? I don't think they have. As of right now, I don't think they did. No. So the overall point from the beginning of people coming here till in any form, not until 1883 or something, not a single solitary federal immigration law. None whatsoever. There were citizenship laws and naturalization laws, but no immigration laws at all. And even when they started in the 1880s, it was against the Chinese. I forget what the name was. It was like we hate you,
right?
Chinese people out of here. But I think I've written down. There you go. The Chinese Exclusion Act.
It's pretty clear.
Race-based.
Yeah, right.
Race-based. But also, I believe it was suspected prostitutes or criminals. I swear to God. So it's like, did they get out the computer and check? Did Penelope Garcia do a little background check? But
I just heard Garcia.
Garcia. What do you mean, Garcia?
Why isn't her name George?
Exactly. What's going on there with that? So, and even apparently, and again, this is all out there. You can find it on this wonderful thing called the internet. So Ellis Island started in 1892. And even then for decades, all they did was check you for disease. And if you were, what's the quote here? Visibly insane. That's it. And then you know what they did? Sent you on your way.
And that's it. And my grandfather came through Ellis Island, and his parents came. He was young when he came through. He came through in 1933,
Right.
and that was it. I mean, and in fact, my grandfather, he should have been on my great grandfather's papers. He was old enough that he should have actually been gone through himself. But so my grandfather did not become a citizen of this country for almost 10 years. Until someone was like, "Hey, you need to go become a citizen real quick," and he could. He would just go down to the I don't know, DMV, whatever it was. Right. And that was it. Yeah. It wasn't like you had to jump through all these hoops and pay all this money. It was just like, I like America. I think I'm staying. Yeah. That was it.
They apparently also somewhere around, I guess going into the late 20s, early to mid 30s, what they were doing was setting quotas on people from European countries because they didn't want too many Greeks here, too many Italians. So what did people do? They hauled ass to Canada and came in through there. These are facts. You can look them up. So, I don't know, no dirty, greasy Mexicans coming through there, right? We've had immigration laws a lot less time than we didn't have them.
Right.
So, most people, your grandfather and the story of how he did it right, it's bullshit.
But even so,
most of our history, you came on the boat, you got off, and you won your merry way. Yeah. So, that's a crock of shit, too.
And to your friend's point here, that he says, well, the Irish were discriminated against. So does that... So you're saying that was wrong, right?
Right.
That wasn't right to do it. But Mr. Lopez, he's a piece of shit.
Right.
So clearly he deserves it.
Right. But if you, I was going to say read between the lines, but it's not so hidden. He's saying these people came and didn't complain and earned it. Where over here, these people clearly are not capable of that.
Right. Well, they're complaining
not
about it.
Capable
that their children are in cages.
Right.
Like those ass lickers.
Right. But they're not capable of coming here and being the same proud wannabe Americans that these perfect babes in the woods were.
Right.
And that's just racist. That's just
part of it
bullshit.
is too because there's the language barrier. It's like they didn't learn English. Well, my grandparents or great grandparents, they didn't learn English.
No, my grandfather, both my mother's parents came from what is now the Czech Republic. It was fucking Prussia back then. To the day he died. 90, 88, something in that range. My grandfather, I joked about he knew 2 words of English. It was my mother's name and bullshit. That's all. And just a bunch of Czech coming out. They're literally, people would come and they, like I said, you get off the boat, go on your way, and then they settled in places like, I don't know, Little Italy, Chinatown, like places where people felt comfortable being around, their own tribe, let's say.
Right.
But overall, they knew what they were a part of. This grand experiment, if you will, or whatever, as hacky as that sounds. But I advocate for people to have a chance.
What I think it comes down to, I think these people are cowards. I think these people who are just terrified of the other, who have to build walls, both metaphorically and realistically, these are cowards. These are people who they don't have interest in expanding their mind or understanding anything. But these are facts, you guys. You don't see things the way they are, you liberals. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Yeah. Like, shut up.
I said, shut up.
Come on.
Exactly. It is. And the funny thing is, mostly in my case, a lot of people that I interact with about these issues, I don't know if they've ever seen a real life Mexican or Guatemalan ever in their life. Ever. So this thought of, and didn't Trump just use the word like invasion or infection? I forget what it was. Something real positive about human beings. And here's the thing. If all you see is the thieving, dirty, robbing, lazy Mexican guy, I can't help you with that. No one can help you with that. That's a mental disorder that you have. I just thank God every day that, and again, I'm not saying that I'm right, I'm righteous, I'm a better at all. Like I said, I am dumb as shit. But I understand freedom. I understand dignity. I understand natural rights of people to be able to do what's best for them and their families, free of discrimination and oppression. And if that makes me some sort of bleeding heart liberal, whatever. Kiss my freaking black ass. And then like you said, it comes from a place of cowardice and small-mindedness
and laziness.
Laziness.
And one of the reasons that you see cities being more liberal or voting more towards liberalism is because they're in a situation where they're near people who aren't like them on a regular basis. And you break down those sort of mental barriers between you and that person, and we're not talking about everybody, but, you know.
But that creates its own set of problems, too.
Of course.
That's a whole other show.
But you will be constantly challenged as to your understanding of another culture because you are constantly near it. So if you're in the middle of Nebraska, and I'm just for
we love
example,
you.
Love you, Nebraska.
Write to us.
The whole state, please. I'll sign it. But where you're pretty homogenous, and it's easy to look at these images of someplace far away and say that's how that is, without any sort of direct experiential knowledge of what it really is like. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that I'm in the trenches of this shit. Like, right. I'm not saying that sort of thing.
Right. But you're also not saying get them others out of here too either. You're advocating for, you know, again, dignity and rights of people to be able to live in peace and harmony. I like to buy the world a Coke. I know you bleeding heart. Nah, fuck that. Ugh. And I'm no liberal. Yuck. That's a whole other topic. No thanks. But so there you go. So I think we covered it. We gave you some food for thought. Don't eat too much.
Get out.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Check us out on the Backroom Facebook page, and we're on Instagram and the Gram and Twitter. What else is there?
Rate and review us on your favorite podcast app.
Yeah.
It does really help.
Yes. And all of our great shows coming up. And thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time in the back room. Love each other, will you?
Anally.
See ya.